What's up, chat? Fuck! Let's go! Let's go! Just ate cold fridge rice and some ketchup on top. My stomach is full and I feel nauseous. I'm kind of torn about the concept of ketchup and rice, because I don't think they're two flavors that go well together, but there's actually a lot of Japanese, quote-unquote Japanese foods that use the combo of ketchup and rice. Like all those omuraisu shit that you get at your maid cafe, that's all ketchup rice. There's a lot of Japanese foods that is just like, you cook the rice with the ketchup. That's step one, and then you go from there. A lot of shit like that. In fact, Japan as a country is pretty unafraid of just like being like the primary flavor of this food is some form of ketchup. There's a whole Italian, quote-unquote, not Italian, pasta dish called Napolitan, like Napolitan ice cream. Except in Japan, instead of ice cream, Napolitan means this pasta dish in which, I forgot how you actually make it. You take the spaghetti after you boil it, and like you put a shit ton of ketchup and like, I don't know, chicken or like ham or some shit in it. I don't know. I think the main ingredient is ketchup, and then you just sort of like cook it into ketchup, like in a frying pan or some shit. I think that's how you're supposed to make Napolitan. If Italians were like, if when they go to Japan and the Japanese are like, this is our Italian food, they're like, no, that's not Italian food. But it's good. We're getting a good amount of childhood friends suffering, but I hope for more evil women being evil. It's not an either or. They can go together. They're two tastes that taste great together. Italian food in Japan is good, but not Italian. Kek W? Yeah. Did you go to the Saizeria? The most powerful Japanese Italian food. I thought it was funny when I saw a video about China and how a lot of Chinese people are going to Saizeria in China, and they all thought that it was like some sort of Italian chain. It's like, no. Minus 10 million social credits. You are supporting the colonialist Japanese invaders. Because it's cheap as fuck. Same for French food, like your foie gras isn't good when you have one. I've never had foie gras, but I don't really want to. I don't really care if they're being cruel to geese or whatever, but it's just fat, right? It's super fatty liver. Bro, we don't need to overfeed geese to eat fatty livers. We should just, like, wait for some of the massive blubber fat guys in America to die from heart failure and then eat their liver, human liver. We have our extremely obese human beings at home. We don't need to do it to geese. Try it, it's great, I've heard. Some say that sex is nice. On the other hand, are we sure we want to believe them? They're probably trying to trick us. You should try sex, guy who fucks his futon. If I convince all my viewers to have sex instead of me, I won't have to have sex. My mission is now complete. Successfully keeping all the women away from me. Goals accomplished. Sex is a lie. It's an invention of the government, so we pay more taxes. I wish we could pay less taxes if we had less sex. Unfortunately, it's the opposite. You get a shit ton of tax credits and stuff by getting married and having kids and shit, actually. There's all sorts of tax benefits from having children and being a couple and stuff like that, so... You're not doing yourself any favors by being single, besides eliminating the risk of having a woman murder you and take all of your money and stuff like that, but besides that... Da-da-dun. BB must selectively breed with Japanese women to return his mom's genes and continue the Japanese race. My mother's side of the family, she's the youngest of 3 women. And the other 2 had kids, so they're continuing the genes. It's not my job. I'm fine. I'm the awkward black sheep of the family at family gatherings in Japan. People don't know how to talk to me because I'm so incredibly red-pilled and based, you know. I can just tell that my cousins incredibly... Not my cousins. Well, I guess my cousins as well. My cousins and then my niece and nephews and stuff. They all immensely respect me for my base Giga Chad energy. Especially when I talk about how I'm unemployed and I sit at home drawing elf titties. They're like, God... BB Oji-san, you're so cool. You need to go on a quest to find a slave mate for your mother. My mother doesn't just want a slave. She wants a slave that is like essentially a handyman. Which, if you would know, any kind of liberal city living area, that's like what literally 99% of the population is looking for because they all have white-collar jobs and they can't fix shit. My mother just thinks that she's somehow capable of finding a man that will fucking fix, you know, plumbing and stuff like that. I'm just like, Mom, I swear to God, you're confusing your desire for a mate with your desire to have a handyman. Guess what? Every other person in this area also wants a fucking handyman. My mother had a boyfriend back in like the 60s and 70s that could fix some amount of shit once. And ever since then, she just sort of thinks that as long as she finds a man, that they'll just be able to fucking, you know, redo all the plumbing and shit like that for free. When she yells at them. And so she's always like, hey, why don't you do anything around this house? And I'm like, because I can't actually do any of the shit you want me to do. Perhaps if you wanted, essentially, just have free blue-collar labor at your fingertips at all times, maybe you should have married somebody who was also a blue-collar laborer instead of, you know, someone who also has a PhD just like you. She sounds like the OL female lead of hentai. Look, I'm just saying that if you're living in a white-collar working area in America, this is just a super, super common thing. South Park even recently had some sort of episode on it where the local handyman was like way richer than all the white collar laborers because people literally can't fix anything. You know that shit has reached mainstream in terms of like social issues when there's a South Park episode on it. That's how I tend to think about everything. Did you discuss the recent reveals about Elon's drug usage? I saw there was a New York Times article that said that Elon was using way more drugs than people even thought, or some shit like that. That he was constantly on ketamine nonstop to the point that he has bladder problems or some shit. So I saw that. Was there any more information? Reveal. They had a great photo of where Trump was trying to do a speech and Elon was jumping around like a literal 5-year-old, and it makes him look like a massive retard. And I was just like, what a great photo. New York Times really putting in the work here. Holy shit, when I just Googled Elon, the most recent in the Elon feed on the New York Times is a black eye at the White House. Did someone punch Elon? Question mark. The list of possible suspects seemed long. New York Times is just absolutely dabbing the fuck all over him. This is fucking hilarious. So many people wanted to punch this little cuck. You know when the New York Times, which is supposed to be like the most stodgiest of newspapers that hasn't gone under yet, is just absolutely dabbing on him, that you've reached a certain level of clown status. The list of possible suspects seemed long. An abridged lineup of people in constituencies currently unhappy with Mr. Musk includes at least 2 of the many women with whom he has fathered children, pretty much the entire federal bureaucracy, his neighbors in a suburb of Austin, Texas, Tesla shareholders, old friends of his, Republicans on Capitol Hill, his 20-year-old daughter, all those people who have lit Teslas on fire, and even some Trump voters. It wasn't any of those people. It was, he said, his progeny, age 5. I was just horsing around with little X. He named his son X, by the way, poor kid. And I said, go ahead, punch me in the face, and he did. Mr. Musk exclaimed after a reporter asked him if he was okay. Yeah. Also, my girlfriend fell down the stairs the other week. I'm definitely not abusing her. She just walked into her doorway. She's so silly. Name his kid X is crazy. What's crazy is his other children's names are also equally stupid. He's truly trying his hardest to make everybody on the planet, including his own children, fucking hate him. Let's ask his own AI. What are the names of Elon Musk's children? Elon Musk has 14 children with 3 women. Their names are Nevada Alexander Musk, Griffin Musk, Vivian Jenna Wilson, Kai Musk, Saxon Musk, Damian Musk. These are all pretty bad names, but they get way worse. This is the first batch. This is from Justine Wilson, female, with Grimes. X-A-E? I don't even know how you pronounce an A and E combined together. A 12th Musk. It's literally impossible to read his name. Exa Dark Sidereal Musk. Techno Mechanicus Musk. So for his children number 8 and 9, he had watched the Star Wars the day before for the first one, and he had been read like Warhammer 40k wiki the second one, I guess. With Siobhan Zillis, Strider Musk, Azure Musk, Selden Lycurgus Musk, Romulus Musk, one unnamed child born 2024. The children he has with Grimes are in particular egregious in just being mean to them by giving them bad names, but what this tells me is that Grimes didn't do enough pushback toward Elon to give her children a happy life as normal human beings. So you could say that a lot of that is abuse on the female side as well. As a mother, it's your job to be like, no, Elon, you are not naming our child a single letter. They can do that when they have their midlife crises. Ketamine has literally rotten what little brain he had, Omega lol. I mean, apparently he's pissing himself. Ketamine bladder issues. Urology and continence care today. Ketamine bladder is what community nurses should know. Effects of ketamine. Ketamine can be ingested, stored, or injected. Users experience a dissociative effect, which has been described as an out-of-body experience. At large doses, the effect is described as entering the K-hole, where the user experiences complete detachment from reality and altered perception of time and space. Some describe it as having a spiritual experience in a sense of calm and serenity. However, short-term effects also include confusion, disorientation, hallucinations, loss of motor coordination, and cardiovascular effects, including hypertension and tachycardia, to name but a few. Even low doses can result in mild dissociation, vivid hallucinations, and distortion of time and space, as well as memory loss. Higher doses may result in agitation, aggressive behavior, and displaying paranoid behavior. Early symptoms of ketamine bladder syndrome include urinary frequency, urgency, pressure and pain. If damage continues, these symptoms get worse, and you may also experience incontinence, urine leaking out when you don't want it to. That's Elon. Blood in your urine. Small amounts of blood can make your urine appear brownish orange. Your bladder capacity may shrink. Is the damage permanent? If the damage goes too far, yes. Ketamine cystitis can be debilitating and permanent if the bladder becomes so damaged that it's unable to repair itself. How much ketamine is too much? That's a good question, guys. Most published studies have focused only on extreme cases where people had used multiple grams of ketamine every day for a year or more. Elon has definitely been doing that. So, it's official. Elon is pissing and shitting himself probably right now as we speak. Why is he still doing it? Who's gonna tell him to stop, I guess? The man clearly cannot control himself in any way. I'm shocked he's still alive. When you have really high level medical care, you can live for a very long amount of time, even if you have very poor life habits. Although that might just be survivorship bias because we don't really talk about the people who just straight up died when they were expected to die. We're not like, no, I can't believe insert name of rock star here is dead and gone. He only overdosed on various drugs 10 times per night for 5 years. He's gone too soon. Pissing yourself is cute if you're a cute anime girl. Going like, Unya! I can't hold it in. Not as cute when you're Elon Musk. Especially if it's the result of him using horse tranquilizer nonstop. Apparently he claimed that his ketamine was prescribed to him. I can't remember what his claim was, but I was just like, in what situation would a doctor actually prescribe you, like, fucking horse tranquilizer? Like, come on, man. But maybe it was, who knows? All you need is to just, like, find one guy to be like, sure, Elon. You're rich and powerful. You can have all the stupid drugs you want. If anything, the doctor is doing a huge favor to society. Or Elon herniated a disc in his back. He definitely looks like he herniated a disc in his back. That sort of the gaunch and the weird ass body shape that everyone was memeing on, where he looks like a bloated body, bloated corpse. His whole body looks destroyed. So my mother asked me that because she had heard on the internet that all of his children he had sired using like uh, external artificial insemination, and I was like, nah, that doesn't seem real. But we checked the internet the other day, and apparently it is. So chat was theorizing that he had some sort of botched penis operation, perhaps, and his dick is unusable, which would explain why he's so obsessed with trying to have as many children as possible because he's trying to compensate for, his penis. I don't know. If you think that he might have tried to do something weird with his dick previously, like try and use technology on his penis and he had some sort of disastrous injury and he can't use it properly, that explains a lot of his behavior at every single level. There's nothing that will fuck men up more than, having a non-functional penis, so he might just be trying to compensate way too hard. I can't keep up with this. Yeah, me neither. This is why sometimes my mother is ahead of me in the news cycle regarding Elon, which almost never happens because she's like traditional boomer in that she's like always 3 weeks behind. But this is one of those things where my mother was actually like ahead of me on. Usually she's like 2 or 3 years behind when she brings me information. I'm like, Mom, that was like something that we were talking about in 2021, but like I can't keep up with all this Elon shit. I love having a cock. It's so fun. Yes. Women all have penis envy, even if they don't know about it. Having a cock is way better than having a vagina. There's no doubt about it. Women have to pee sitting down. Holy shit. Men also have to pee sitting down if they've been cucked by their wife. And their wife is like, if you spray your piss around the toilet seat one more time, I'm divorcing you. If that happens, then yeah, men also have to pee sitting down. But besides those cases, we're good to go. Born to spray, forced to sit. I know, right? Some of the urinals, though, they can definitely make some of those urinals bigger when you're trying to aim and, like, your non-circumcised cock skin is creating a weird shape of the hole, and then you spray in a weird location and stuff. I felt bad the other day because I was at a McDonald's and I missed the first batch of my piss, missed the toilet bowl pretty hard, or the urinal. And I was like, ah shit, someone's gonna have to clean that up. I'm sorry, McDonald's employee wagey. But to be fair, your urinal is super small. It was like, to illustrate it from my POV, it was like this, with like about this much space, and then there was this tiny little fucking triangle sticking out. It was like this, and I was just like, yo, I'm supposed to... I have to hit like this space right here. This tiny fucking area. POV your ball at the McDonald's. So then like the stream goes, ah shit. So close. And I had to stop the piss and then redirect it over here. But there was a small urinary pool building up right there. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Just average guy things. Snipping's a good job, mate? No, it's not. You don't need to fucking circumcise. In fact, I'd say it's a horrible idea. If you can avoid getting circumcised, you should probably avoid getting circumcised. But obviously that's not up to you. It's whether your parents have decided to get you circumcised when you're a fucking baby, so there's nothing you can do about it. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Our daddies told us to not be ashamed of our dicks. I wish I had my foreskin so a girl could put her tongue in between it, give me my skin back. Yes, you need your foreskin for proper smegma cheese production. To give women the opportunity to clean out the smegma cheese underneath your foreskin. Good luck on trying to find a woman to do that. I'm pretty sure it's not the most popular job for females in 2025. All in all, you probably shouldn't mutilate your body unless you're very sure you want to do it. And you definitely shouldn't mutilate your baby's body before they have a say in the matter. When they're still not fully conscious. Your twisted penis creates a double stream in the worst of circumstances. You're talking about the forked stream, the dreaded forked stream. No. And you're afraid if you touch it when you're in the forked stream situation that you're only going to make the situation worse. And you kind of have to hope to ride it out. There was a guy that gave his dick an opening and called it his little vagina or something. Guys, just don't, like, modify your body. Your body is the way it is for evolutionary reasons that have been optimized over thousands and thousands of years. Unless it's something that absolutely has to be done, like your wisdom teeth are coming in backwards or some shit like that. You shouldn't, fucking modify your body. It's just stupid. Stop getting stupid fucking tattoos. I don't even like having permanent marks on a sheet of paper. That's why I draw on digital. You think I'm gonna let some shitty drug addict tattoo artist who probably has $1 billion in credit card debt and went to prison draw an anime girl on my arm? No. We don't do that shit. You're not getting a womb tattoo? Only if I get hypnotized. Then I won't have any choice. The only womb tattoos I'm getting are the magical womb tattoos when I become an orc sex slave. I'm not going to get one that's only cosmetic. That's stupid. I want my womb tattoos to be fully functional for when I become a sex slave. No, please, Mr. Orc-san. Don't further develop my supple bussy. I'm just a cute femboy uwu. Get branded with Queen of Spades, free public use body writing. Sometimes I wish I was more racist so I could further appreciate black porn. Alas, it doesn't give me the level of sick, twisted joy that all the racist people out there. I see a woman with a Queen of Spades tattoo. Actually, I've never seen a woman with a Queen of Spades tattoo except in, like, the 10 gorillion AI hentai that is produced. And it makes me feel nothing. It's a shame, really. You aren't racist already? I'm not racist enough. I don't see the AI arbitrary black guy having sex with anime waifu and being like, no! She's being corrupted! This is completely unlike the other situation in which she's having sex with the faceless Japanese high schooler who is a representative of me. She's having sex with a black guy. No! It's like, neither of those people are me. AI does porn so bad still? I disagree. I think AI porn is great. I have a massive AI porn folder. We have a lot of great AI porn prompters out there who are doing their absolute best. You just have to ignore the fact that some of the images involve women with, like, you know, too many arms, or weird artifacts where they try to do a group scene and there's like a doppelganger phantasmic version of the female who's having sex in the foreground, also in the background watching the sex takes place. All those cool shit that can only happen if you're using a lot of AI. I see too many arms and fingers fused together. There are some professional AI prompters who are trying to make a living off of AI prompted porn that spend a lot of time going back and making sure there's no mistakes. But, you know, it's a hard process in which they have to generate 10 million images. I'm exaggerating, it's only like 3,000 images, using about the same amount of electricity as what a small town would use in a year, and then going through all the images and seeing which ones don't have fucked up anatomy and make sense in the context. And then after that, they have to like make some sort of extra alterations, and you know, it probably takes not as much time as if they were actually drawing it by hand, but because they can still spit out like 500 page sets pretty frequently. But if you go to like the AI prompter Patreons where they're like, there's extra 500 images if you sub to my Patreon and give me money. If you look at the pirated version of their Patreon image sets, it's not like that version is better than the completed version. It's usually worse because it's just all the images they had to get rid of, because like half of the images or 70% of the images that they use are basically unusable. I have standards for my slop. The AI is soulless, I guess. But most porn is soulless anyways. I have a secret for you guys. When you watch porn with real women and they're like, feels so good. Your penis feels so good. Oh, I'm coming. They're not actually coming. It's all a lie. Those women are fucking soulless. Don't believe their lies, guys. If it's drawn, the artist had to imagine it to some extent to make it, which is real. Yes. In the mind of the producer, my beautiful childhood friend, school class president, truly exists. And she is definitely getting cucked by the ugly bastard gym teacher. It's real to me. What we get off to is actually artist John. I believe that hentai artists, people have made this argument before that we're actually coming to some ugly bastard artist when we jack off to dojins and stuff, but I like to think that artists summon the information they draw from the collective consciousness of the Jungian internet. It's not just in our head, but there's like some sort of separate dimension of all the ideas floating around in the world. and we have a united subconscious of Kumology that we dip into and bring it to the real world. Remember, when you come inside your wife's pussy, you're actually coming inside her dad's pussy, because technically, before she was born, she was a single sperm in her dad's nutsack. That's the argument you make, that when you say that when you're jacking off to doujins drawn by a man, you're technically, you know, jacking off to a guy. The originator of the current thing is not necessarily the current thing. How do 3D Pig Pro porn actresses live with themselves and having a bunch of acne and ingrown hairs? They're selling fantasy and should take the time to have flawless skin. I mean, they didn't used to have flawless skin because they didn't have like 4K imagery back in the day. We didn't used to be able to see like literally every single porn on her ass. That's a new development in recent years. As a man who has a daughter, you are literally dedicating at least 20 years of your life simply to raise a girl for another man to enjoy. It is the ultimate and final cuck. Think about it logically. To continue this discussion, I started rewatching The Hobbit, not The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring again last night, because I needed something to be on in the background, and YouTube was like glitching up for some reason. And I was thinking, like, wait, how old is Gandalf again? So I opened up a second tab and asked Google, how old is Gandalf? And they're like, I'll give you a guess. Give your best guess, guys. How old is Gandalf? AI overview. Gandalf's age is difficult to pin down precisely as he is a Maya, a divine spirit. However, based on calculations in his history in Middle-earth, he is estimated to be well over 50,000 years old. Gandalf is a Maya, a powerful being created by Eru Iluvatar before the universe was even conceived. This means he predates the creation of Arda, Middle-earth, and is essentially older than the world itself. To calculate his age, one must consider the different time systems in Middle-earth, particularly the Valian years and solar years. The years of the lamps, the years of the trees, and the years of the sun, which encompass the three ages of Middle-earth, are all part of this. One estimate puts Gandalf's age around 55,000 years. And there's multiple Reddit shit on this, of course. And I was like, okay, guys, this is why people just watch the movies and they didn't read the books, okay? You fucking Lord of the Rings nerds. You're literally in the same camp as, like, the Christians who are like, dinosaurs didn't exist. And there's people who go onto their wikis and talk about their original Sonic OCs. This shit is cringe as fuck, guys. That AI stuff, that not true. If you ask him, the first gay Star Wars character is Glup Shitto. The first gay AI character... First gay Star Wars character. That's a good question. I'd say Luke Skywalker is pretty gay because he had an opportunity to hit his hot sister and he was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to have incest. Which is pretty fucking gay if you ask me. Am I right, fellow incest bros? Haha, just kidding, Twitch. I would never promote incest between Luke and Leia. I haven't played any Coffin of Andy and Lele, but what it has exposed is that there's a massive incest hive on the internet. And people really want their incest content. And you can make a subpar video game as long as you have incest undertones or overtones in this case, I guess. And people will just lap it up. It's pretty encouraging if you think about it. Incest is more vanilla. Yeah. If you literally don't have sex with your anime sister, people will just be like, what's wrong with this guy? Is he gay or something? Who doesn't have sex with their siblings? I don't understand. Almost every porn video is titled after incest. It always bugs me how American porn videos have to be like, my stepbrother found me in the washing machine. It's just like, bro, it's fucking fake to begin with. Why do we have to put step on everything? We all know that it's not your actual mother you're having sex with. Americans are such pussies when it comes to fiction and stuff. Especially when it comes to sex-related fiction, but just fiction in general. They're like, oh, what if people take it literally? It's literally fake. Oh my god. Grow a fucking spine. It's fucking pathetic. The Japanese have enough knowledge to understand that stepmother porn and mother porn are two different subjects, and you can't just like mix the two. I just want some mommy play in my porn. I honestly do not want mommy play in my porn. Average mommy play scene is just guy with his head in mommy's lap as her massive boobs dangle into his face so he can suckle on the titty, and then she gives him hand job. It's always that. I'm sure there's mommy lovers in chat who are like, that's the good part. But, you know. I'm good. I don't need any more of that. Thank you very much. I am not the step-parent. I am the parent that stepped up. I mean, 4chan and stuff will laugh at step-parents a ton as a guy who's, like, raising someone else's child. But as someone who watches a lot of YouTube videos where, you know, their literal parents, like, murder their own children and shit like that, like true crime footage of police interrogations, like, I don't think we should overvalue being blood related to your children. Your children are separate human beings from you, even if you have the same DNA, or not even the same, like, part of your DNA information. You can be an incredibly shitty parent despite being related, and we should never forget that. Nursing handjob is decent tag. I liked how we had a brief period in which there was uh, nurses who really hated their patients. There was like one guy who had a brief stint in creating a new genre of new nurses giving you hand job, but they absolutely hate you. Nurses, maids, and nuns are peak. If only nuns in real life looked like the nuns in hentai, am I right? Also, I guess you could say the same thing for nurses and maids as well, but the difference between reality and fiction is the gap is largest for nuns, I would say. There was a recent Japanese GIF going around of nurse giving CPR, and she was wearing tight pants. I wonder if I can find it. Probably not. It was like a week ago, so... No. Alright, it's been too long. But she was sticking her ass out, in and out, in a way that was really showing off her panty lines, and people were like, damn, she must be using her ass like that at home. According to the Japanese internet, if you marry a nurse, you're into it for a rough ride, because those women are constantly dealing with life and death. So, they're tough bastards, basically all of them. You're really in for it. Nurse and female doctors, they probably are going to be making more money than you, and they also see people die and shit themselves and stuff on a daily basis, so... I don't know. I don't know what I want about to do with this, this thing right here. This might be not what I want. Darker? Maybe I want something else. This is the good thing of having selections and just everything whited out. I can try different stuff. Also, a nurse knows how to inject you with some kind of poison and kill you if she gets sick of you. There was some woman who knocked off her son and her husband and I think one of her daughters by putting antifreeze in their coffee over a period of time. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but it was pretty. She had a pretty high number of kills. Weren't there also some statistics that while male narcissists prefer to become police officers, female narcissists prefer to become nurses or something? Sounds about right. They're both... It becomes a question of in what job can I exert the most power and authority on people? And for men, that's often going to be police officers. And for women, you can be like... You can be a nurse or something. If you're a nurse, you can get people in their weakest state, and you have control over their life and death. So if you're at the hospital, there's a non-zero chance that a nurse is taking a picture with a butt plug in the bathroom in order to post it on Reddit. I mean, that's fine. As long as she doesn't fuck up the injection and put air into my bloodstream or something. She can take as many butt plug photos as she wants. Go ahead. Go crazy. Remember that medical malpractice is like one of the most common ways to die in modern society. Medical malpractice deaths, U.S. yearly. It says medical errors kill almost 100,000 Americans a year, LMAO. AI Overview says in the US approximately 250,000 to 400,000 deaths occur annually due to medical errors, making it the third leading cause of death. Keck fucking W. Some studies suggest that the true number of medical error-related deaths may be even higher due to underreporting on death certificates. Whoopsie! Sorry. Sorry I, injected air into your bloodstream there, buddy. I once had a nurse during a blood sample forget to remove the belt from my arm, and I only noticed when it took like 5 minutes to finish. Yeah. Whenever you go into a hospital, you're in risk of not coming out alive, honestly. So you should try and reduce the amount of hospital visits and doctor visits in general as much as possible if you can. She's just a girl. Girl math. Guys, girl math. Teehee, I was supposed to give him 5 milligrams of this drug dosage, but instead I gave him 5 grams. Whoopsie. Girl math. Oopsie. What can you do? I'm just a girl. Sometimes you do get lucky. Had an athlete doctor treat my broken figure. He just went for it and pulled it straight before putting it on. I mean, on average, you're not going to die just because you went to the hospital. It's just that you shouldn't test your luck is all. In other words, don't do stupid surgery that you don't need to do, like, you know, getting your jaw sawed down because you want to look like your K-pop star. Every time you're under the knife, there's a possibility you might die as a result. That's all I'm saying. My father was telling me about, there was somebody who knew recently, who is old, of course, because him being old means the people he knows is also old. But, somebody went into the hospital for just, like, a standard procedure that they recommend to old people, like a hip replacement or some shit, and he just, like, straight up died because something went wrong in the surgery, so... Shit happens. Those weird people that do the leg lengthening procedure that can potentially make you wheelchair bound. Are you talking about Jack Hama? Is this now a Baki thread, guys? Remember, if you're only like 6'8" tall, like Jackie Hama, and you think that you can become stronger by lengthening your limbs, you should just do some reconstructive surgery, and it will definitely make you taller and stronger instead of fucking up all of your joints by breaking every single bone in your body. To be fair, every time you eat a tendy, you're at risk of choking and dying. Yeah, I think about that because I chew pretty quickly. This might be my last tendy McNugget. I'm talking about an actual procedure that is, I think, done only in America. Wrong. I know, this is the same procedure. The Baki author knows about the procedure. That's why he was having one of his characters do it. The only thing unrealistic about it is that Jakuhama can walk around and fight and stuff on his elongated limbs after he has the procedure, no problem. Not only is it done in countries other than America, people go to these cheap-ass countries like Turkey and stuff to get it done. There was one Japanese guy who was at a Napoleon complex or just felt bad about being too short. So he went to Turkey to get a limb elongation procedure, and he almost died. He might have actually died because I wasn't following his Twitter after a certain point, but the wounds got infected. Because what they do is they break all of your legs, and then well, both of your legs, I guess is the right way to say it, and then they pull your leg outward a little bit, and they put some braces on, and if there's a little space in between the two bones, the bones will grow and reconnect to each other in a weaker state, and then that will increase your height by a little bit. It was only used as like in the most extreme examples of like weird genetic deformity, shortness in the past, and then extremely insecure man children decided that they had to. The reason why all of their shit in life was going poorly was because they were short, and they started getting the procedure. I've seen some videos of a guy trying to show how he can walk and run after he did this procedure, and it looked like he was walking on stilts because he had just permanently fucked up his skeleton. You have to get your legs like broken multiple times basically. It's like, good job, dude, you're 5 centimeters taller. No one recognizes the body image problems normal men have. Women just need to be not a ham planet and not have a wrecked face. There's like super short guys at the Planet Fitness, and they're way more jacked than the taller guys. And they always are working out with like an intensity that comes from the bitterness of having people dab on them their entire life. And women being like, LMAO, he's so short, I can't see him as a real human being. Some of the most acceptable forms of bullying are dabbing on short guys and dabbing on male baldness and stuff like that. Always treat short kings kindly. Yes, they might stab you. They have years of pent-up rage that they're waiting to unleash on your ass. If you aren't 6 foot tall, then you aren't treated as a real man. Just look at the copium Tom Cruise does. I mean, it doesn't help that he was married to Nicole Kidman, right? She was literally like 5 inches taller than him. Besides all the Scientology, that's probably the #1 reason for the divorce. Also the fact that they were in Eyes Wide Shut for like 2 years. Making a psychosexual movie out of their lives. That probably didn't help. I mean, a lot of actors get away with being short. Tom Cruise, Dustin Hoffman, Pacino, etc. The moral of your story is love your natural body, don't do ketamine and dodgy body mod surgery. Yeah. And don't care so much about how people think about you. Just in general. There's only one person you have to worry about how they think about you, and that's the U.S. government, because if the U.S. government thinks you're a criminal, whether it's the police or the IRS or something, you're fucked. But besides that, you don't have to worry about people's opinions. So happy I don't plan on ever stepping a foot into the US. That applies for every country, dumbass. If your country thinks that you're evading taxes, they're going to come after you. It doesn't matter where you live, unless you live in like a total state of chaos. I already look like a criminal. Just make sure you're not black and wearing a hoodie, I guess. That's not gonna help. By the way, are you guys playing Elden Ring Night Rain? I really wanted to play it for a brief period of time, so I watched a bunch of streams so I wouldn't buy it. Because the rational part of my brain was definitely being like, bro, this is a waste of money, do not play this game. Also, you have to be drawing manga right now. But, the Miyazaki-infested drug addict part of my brain was like, no! More Elden Ring, I have to play it. So I watched a bunch of streams, and now I don't want to play it anymore, thankfully, because I got myself properly spoiled. I have no friends. You can play it solo, but yeah. When I saw that they were being forced to fight tree sentinels again, I was like, okay, I can resist buying this one. If there's one enemy I don't need to fight anymore, it's the tree sentinel. Think how many times you kill the fucking tree sentinel in a normal playthrough of Elden Ring. You have the first tree sentinel when you first exit. Then you have the double tree sentinel when you get to the capital. Then you have the draconic tree sentinel. Then you have 2 more fucking tree sentinels in the goddamn DLC. It's just like, holy shit. And most people are going to do a second playthrough at some point. So you're already getting to tree sentinel count of like 8 or 9. It's like, I'm good. I don't need to fight the fucking tree sentinel again. I plan to continue the Yakuza series. If you have time to spare, Yakuza is a good way to waste it, because all the mini games are going to take you 100,000 hours to complete if you're going for like trophy completion. I've heard horror stories of people having to do specific things in like the Mahjong mini game and it taking them like months to complete that if they were a trophy hunter. And then just if you're playing normally, the RPG Yakuza games like Yakuza 7 and 8 are like, I don't know, 80-hour games, I think, so... I've watched enough people to see it's the same thing over and over. The number one reason why I want to play it is it has the Recluse's booba. It has some amazing chest ahead in it, which makes me want to play it just to look at the titties. Also, it's a game that it's relying on online co-op, so it won't be as good if you wait to play it. So it's basically your only opportunity to play it in its best form. If you play it like months from now when it's cheaper, then either there will be a reduced population, or when you do play it with other people, they're only the hardcore people who really are good at the game will still be playing, and they'll just be like zooming from boss to boss and just absolutely, you know, shit rolling the bosses, so you won't be able to have like that co-op experience of other people who are also casuals and they're not that good at the video game. You won't be able to avoid getting carried if you play it like at a different date, so it's really like an only now kind of opportunity, but I'm still going to skip on it because, you know, I have other things to do in life. If I play every game I want to play, I will never ever finish any single of my manga goals, so you just have to be a little more picky than that. Can't just play every video game I want to play. You want to play a game that requires socialization? Hell is Frosty? I mean, it doesn't require that much socialization. You're just running from place to place still. I mean, I don't think there's even any way to do any kind of chat or even give directives and stuff. The vast majority of modern video games don't require you to socialize, even if they're technically supposed to be a social game. Everybody's in their separate Discord chats, right? Nobody fucking actually uses in-game messaging anymore. It's cheaper for the companies, so they don't even provide it. And the ones that do are, like, Blizzard, making sure you don't say any of the no-no words. And you can get your money stolen and banned if you say one thing. So everyone is just... Video games are just worse now, guys. I'm not saying that Xbox Live voice chat was an amazing experience, but at least it was chaotic and memorable. Now everyone's in their own separate Discord groups. We don't get to go back to the time of 2008 on Xbox Live with children yelling racial slurs at you. I mean, you can still get that if you turn on Call of Duty. I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't actually changed that much. But the core experience in general is, you know, we don't have that anymore. A shame, really. At least Call of Duty never changes. Or Nintendo doing the awful app for mobile phones. Doesn't the Switch 2 have, like, basic-ass voice chat, and Nintendo is pretending like they invented voice chat, or it's like a massive new step forward, and it's definitely worth the extra price tag or some bullshit, because it's Nintendo, of course. Nintendo introduces basic feature to games that has existed for over 20 years. They're like, we did it, guys. They really are the Apple of video games, aren't they? It reminds me of when Apple introduced the USB-C charger as their primary charging method for phones and shit. And then they, like, sent out a commercial being like, you can thank us, guys. We finally did it. Problem solved. It's like, wow, amazing, Apple. You were finally able to use the most basic-ass industry standard instead of your stupid own retarded proprietary chargers that you change every 3 years. You fucking cucks, I hate you. I guess we're the ones who are the cucks if we pay money to this shit. They shut down Infinity Nikki chat for a few days because they don't want people discussing Tiananmen Square, LOL. I was getting YouTube recommendations of how Infinity Nikki game runners absolutely fucking just nuked their entire fan base with their latest update. And I was just like, LMAO, that's what happens when you play with the gacha. You play with the bull, you get the horns. Eventually they're here to ream your ass. The question is only when. They fucked up the game so bad I cannot be arsed to care. I'm too regarded. I mean, they were like, each individual color change of your pretty dress is $5, right? Shit like that. I hope people generate AI porn of the Infinity Nikki main character in her frilly dresses. I feel like that's something that would be hard to draw, but if there's one thing that's AI it's good at, it's generating clothing for some reason. AI is super good at folds and, like, clothing textures, so I feel like that would be a good combo. Infinity Nikki, Dojin porn. To get a full 5-star outfit with all evolutions is $400+. As crazy as that sounds, that's only entering the pay pig zone for various pay-to-win games. What was the latest Star Citizen? Something Blades. Keck W, if I put in new pay to win on Google, the AI overview shows up and tells me Star Citizen is not inherently a pay to win game in the traditional sense, LMAO. While players can purchase ships and upgrades with real money, these purchases don't grant an unfair advantage in gameplay. LO fucking L. Roll full. AI must just be... There must be so many of these Star Citizen cucks on the internet typing this shit that the AI has scraped the internet multiple times, that they've gotten all these messages into the AI database and it's like, guys, Star Citizen, it's not a pay-to-win game. It's not. It's really not. Let's see. Flight Blades is the new thing. After you buy a $3,000 spaceship, you can now buy these new attachments that each increase your ship's speed by like 0.1%, and then you can buy hundreds of these things. Nikki is the most sexless character I cannot imagine. I don't know. She looks vaguely feminine. I mean, she might also be a boy. It's 2025. At this point, I'm just expecting any kind of character to be wearing a frilly dress to actually be a boy disguised as a girl. When you say Nike, sportswear brand, booty shooter gacha, the dress-up gacha, or Japanese stock Nikkei. There's also Nikka Whiskey. That's Nikka instead of Nikkei. You could also be talking about Nicki Minaj, inspirational rapper, superstar. Besides, why do you even need a 5-star dress and your girl dress up gacha? Just wear your peasant clothes. What's the big deal? Same thing for every other gacha. Why do you need your SS rare waifu? Just masturbate to the normal rare waifu. She's just as valid. 5-star dresses come with abilities like releasing the radioactive disaster that is Chernobyl. No, you have to enshrine this young girl in a concrete tomb. It's the only way. Her dress is too sparkly. Dollar bill, come get her. Even your man, no, Nicki's do it better. Does Nicki Minaj have ass implants? I honestly can't tell at this point who has fake asses and who has fake... I think I'm pretty good at identifying the fake boobs, but and when it comes to ass implants, it's like kind of hard to tell because you can naturally have massive fat asses if you're a fat fuck. Nicki Minaj has always seemed to be a generally shapy dumpy, to be honest. The Nicki Minaj ass specialist has spoken, guys. She's giving her the rubber stamp of legitimate ass. I don't know what you're all hating for. Gambling is great. I love glorified gambling. Gamble on bunny girls. It's not gambling because you don't actually get any money back. That's the magic of gacha. It's the equivalent of purchasing something, except they don't actually give you what you want. Instead, you might get something you don't want, and then you have to try and purchase it again. It's infinitely worse than gambling. You get the joy of digital dopamine. I mean, it is similar to gambling in that it's tickling the same brain regions as the people who are addicted to gambling, that's for sure. So you could say that functionally it is the same thing because it's appealing to the same people. But in terms of like what you actually do and what you actually get back, it's nowhere near like gambling. I just got Lycaon in Zenless Zone 0. I'm so happy. Is that the furry character? I don't even know who that is. I only know Zenless Zone Zeros by the amount of porn they get. You'll have to explain to me which character that is in terms of how many BBCs she is slurping on, because that's the only context in which I see gacha characters. How much AI porn has been generated of Lycaon? Gamble Apocalypse Kaiji. What if Kaiji was just gambling on gacha instead of like gambling on real money? So even if he gets his fingers cut off, the only thing he gets in return is his waifu in a gacha service game that's going to be cancelled sometime soon. Laika is a guy? Why would you ever want a guy in your gacha? What are you, gay? We men don't play gacha for guys. Only the finest quality big titty waifus are allowed in my gacha. The wolf ice guy that have 6-packs literally sounds like it was a character inserted so that females would drop money. female furries would drop money and gay male furries. How many female furries are there? I feel like the female furry population is way lower than the male furry population. And I'm not counting woman werewolf rape fantasies as furry. I think that's a different genre. Do you all know if there's a lot of porn about Briar Eros from Appleseed? Appleseed. Now that's a term that I haven't heard in a long, long time. I don't think people are thinking that much about Masamune Shiro's lesser known works in 2025. If they're not jacking off to the major, they're not jacking off to anything, Appleseed or otherwise. Bato Bros. Bato is in a platonic relationship with the major. He's not allowed to have sex with her. The major is for non-consensual mind hack sex doll sex with ugly fat men only. Also, she can definitely get pregnant even if she's an android body. My hentai says so. Pretty much most Motoko hentai completely ignores the fact that she's a robot body, and they're just like, yeah, she definitely has a fully working uterus. Why not? She's definitely going to start lactating any minute, guys. The internet is where our dreams come true. We don't let stuff like canonical parts of the story interfere with our imagination. Oh, is there new Appleseed content? Is that why you're talking about it? Sounds like when people were busting one out over the twins in Atomic Heart. I just like to point out that Tubi is sitting next to me and she's fully pregnant with my child. Although, maybe the near androids can get pregnant. Who the fuck knows? I mean, if men can get pregnant, there's nothing to stop androids from getting pregnant, right? The machines did attempt to fuck and somehow made Adam and Eve. We must stick our chargers in the charger slot.
They're really turning me on. Like the other day, I was in the shower and I was fantasizing about everybody else in the shower and we were all getting off together. What I'm trying to say is, bro, it's me. I want to talk to you about me. Remember the time we were hanging out and I started telling you about those feelings?
About those feelings.
Well, to tell you the truth, it's some fantasies I was telling you about. I'm having them more and more, and they're really turning me on.
It has not been the path for the faint-hearted, or seek only the fleshly pleasure. Rather, it has been the risk-taker, the wasted genie, the creators.
Is that through the fire and the flames? This is called Dungeon Force through Deep Dark Fantasies.
Time and time again, these men struggle and sacrifice so that we might live better.
Oh, yeah. Yes, just move it up. That hurts me. Don't stop. You know I don't do anal. It's a fucking deep. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm fucking coming. My name is Van. I'm an artist. I'm a performance artist.
I'm a performance artist.
People to fulfill their fantasy, their deep, dark fantasy. Fisting is $300. And usually the guy pretty much high on top. If you really get relaxed, you know, and I have
Hey, what's up? Unfortunately, I'm about to end the stream at this point because I need to go run before Knicks Pacers Game 6 happens.
It has not been the path for the faint-hearted, or seek only the fleshly pleasure. Rather, it has been the risk-taker, the wasted genie, the creators of mad things. For us, they toiled in sweatshops.
What else does this image need?
Time and time again, these men struggle and sacrifice so that
It is through the fire and the flame, but with gay porn. If you're not familiar with gachi, this is a genre of music with specific sound bites from about 6 or 7 different gay porns that are reused in creative ways to overlay with a million different songs. All the woo 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 sounds you hear going on right now is, I believe it's the sound of a guy screaming, and then they alter it to make it this whooping sound. So yes, look up gachi if you are interested in this art form. See you around, guys. I wish there was a Hobbit to Isengard right now version because I don't think anyone made it yet. A gachi version of it? You'll just have to make it yourself, my friend. Alright, see you around, guys. Good night.